Your soul is not up for debate. It was not crafted in the fire of your pain, the quiet of your healing, and the courage of your becoming just to be questioned by someone who never cared to understand it. You are not a courtroom, and your worth is not on trial. There is no jury needed to validate your choices, your feelings, or your existence. The deepest parts of your convictions, your dreams, your quiet battles, they're sacred, and sacred things are not explained, they are protected. So when someone demands that you justify who you are, what you feel, or why you move the way you do, stand still. Let them wrestle with their discomfort while you walk in your peace. Because your soul is not up for sale, not up for compromise, and certainly not up for debate. The need to explain is often a trap, subtle, seductive, and destructive. It disguises itself as clarity, but it's really a doorway into self-doubt. When you feel the pull to constantly justify your choices, your emotions, or your growth, pause and ask, who am I explaining this tone why? Because more often than not, you're not seeking understanding, you're responding to someone who has already made up their mind. And that's the trap. It drags you into a cycle where you begin performing your truth instead of living it. You spend your energy proving things to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. But truth doesn't need a defense. It needs a backbone. Let them misinterpret. Let them twist your story. If their ears were open, they'd already know. Walk away. There's no freedom in over-explaining inanely, in owning who you are without apology. Demons wear human faces. They smile. They charm. They offer kind words with poisoned edges. You won't always recognize them at first, because they don't come snarling, they come familiar. Sometimes they look like old friends, trusted mentors, even family. But pay attention. They reveal themselves in the way they drain you, distort your words, and delight in your confusion. They play the victim while setting the fire. Then ask why you're so defensive when you try to protect your peace. These are not people seeking truth, they are seeking control. And if you're not careful, you'll waste your light trying to heal someone who only ever wanted to hurt you. Learn to discern the mask from the man. Not every face is innocent. Some carry darkness with a handshake. Protect your space and never explain yourself to the chaos disguised as connection. Your peace is sacred. Guard it like the last flame in a dark world. It is not a luxury, it is your foundation. The world will try to convince you that being reactive is a sign of strength, that defending yourself in every direction is necessary, but it's not. Real strength is stillness. It's the ability to walk away without setting the place on fire just to prove you could. Your peace is not something you should casually place in the hands of people who thrive on chaos. Some people don't want resolution, they want your reaction. And the moment they get it, they win. But when you choose calm, you reclaim control. Let them think you're cold, arrogant, or distant. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you didn't let them touch the part of you that took years to heal. Set boundaries like brick walls. Protect your peace like a priceless treasure, because once it's gone, you'll remember how hard it was to find. Don't let anyone walk through it with dirty feet. Silence is not weakness, seeks wisdom dressed in restraint. It's the strength to hold your tongue when your ego wants to roar. It's the awareness that not every battle is worthy of your voice, and not every insult deserves your energy. In a world where noise is mistaken for power, silence becomes a rare and unsettling force. It makes people uncomfortable because they can't read it, can't control it. But silence is never empty when it comes from a place of self-respect. Sometimes saying nothing is the loudest thing you can do. It says, I see what you're trying to provoke, and I choose not to dance with your chaos. Let others throw their words like weapons. Let them perform for attention. You stand still. Let your silence carry the weight of 1,000 truths that don't need explaining. There's a dignity in quiet that noise will never understand. Protect it. You do not need to be liked to be valid. Read that again. You are not here to win everyone over. You are not a product, a brand, or a performance. You are a soul complex, evolving, and full of contradictions. And not everyone will like that. Some people will dislike you simply because you didn't shrink for their comfort. Others will try to twist your confidence into arrogance, your boundaries into coldness. Let them. Their opinion does not define your value. Validation that requires you to betray yourself is nothing more than manipulation in disguise. The truth is, if you constantly chase being liked, you'll end up losing the parts of yourself that are actually worth loving. So stop crying. The right people feel your truth. You won't have to scream it. You won't have to over-explain, defend, or dilute who you are to make them stay. They'll recognize you not for how loudly you speak, but for the quiet energy that surrounds you. The right ones don't need a presentation. They sense your soul in the spaces between your words. They don't question your silence because they understand its depth. These people won't make you feel like you're too much or not a not he. He'll simply make room, and when you stumble, they won't judge it, he'll reach. You don't need to bend yourself backward, trying to be seen by those who only look at you through filters of their own projection. When you are with the right people, there is no audition, no performance, no mask, just presence, just peace. That's how you know it's real. And when it's real, you don't have to shout your truth into the void, hoping someone will catch it. The right ones already feel it. Do not wrestle with the shadows of others. Shadows are not real, they are merely the absence of light. When people try to drag you into their darkness, they are fighting you to wrestle with what isn't even substantial. Their pain, their insecurities, their projections are not your burden to carry. You cannot fight with shadows, no matter how much they try to pull you into the struggle. They want you to engage, to prove your worth, to defend your actions, but their shadows will always shift, and their accusations will always change. You can never satisfy them because they are not looking for truth, they are looking for someone to blame. So walk away from the battle. There is no honor in wrestling with things that are only a reflection of their inner turmoil. Protect your light, protect your peace. The moment you stop engaging with their shadows, you free yourself from the endless cycle of conflict, and in doing so, you reclaim your energy and focus for what truly matters. You were not born to beg for grace. Grace is not something you plead for from others. It is something you embody within yourself. You are not here to chase approval or desperately seek the acceptance of those who see you as less than you are. Your worth does not depend on someone else's perception or generosity. True grace comes from knowing that you are enough, exactly as you are. You don't have to bend or grovel to earn it. You don't need to beg for respect, love, or validation. These are your birthright. The moment you start seeking grace from others is the moment you forget the power of self-love. Stand tall. Live with integrity. Your grace flows from the inside, and it doesn't rely on external conditions. The people who matter will see you, and those who don't, well, their opinions are just noise. You were born to walk with confidence, not to beg for permission. Own your grace, because it is yours to command. Walk away without noise. There's a quiet strength in leaving without drama, without explanation, without the need for closure. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply walk away, letting your absence speak louder than any words could. You don't need to make a spectacle of your departure or announce it to the world. Those who are meant to understand will feel the void left behind. When you walk away in silence, you take control of your peace, your dignity, and your energy. You don't owe anyone a justification for choosing yourself. You don't need to defend your boundaries or plead for respect. The act of walking away without noise is the ultimate form of self-respect. It's an acknowledgement that you no longer have the time or space to entertain things that no longer serve you. Let them wonder. Let them question. You've made your choice, and that speaks volumes. Even in the quiet,